Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be continuing the build of Airwolf. That's this guy. This guy right here. That's Airwolf. Now this is a 1/48 scale by Aoshima. Aoshima! Is that racist? I don't know. But that's who makes this model. 1/48 scale. This is part 2 of the build. What did we do last time? Last time we got into unboxing everything on this and taking a look at it and all that fun stuff, and we got to assemble some of the main rotor mechanism. Now obviously I didn't quite get to assembling the whole thing like this last time, but did a little bit of work on it and all that, and this spins. It's not totally free, especially when I fiddle around with it. It does rotate, it's fine. There's a little bit of resistance in a couple of spots. As you can see, it doesn't just spin totally free, but that's okay. I didn't like that it had a lot of resistance at first, so I actually took a little drill bit, smaller than this one. I actually took this one with a little drill, and I kind of honed out the center of it so that the shaft spun freely, and I got it to a point where I'm happy with it. Got that done, and then after that I started doing some painting, and I did a lot of painting and lots of masking, and I got it to a point where now I pretty much have the paint job done. If I put these two halves together, you can see a little bit better what the final result is. Now I referenced all those pictures that I showed you last time to try and figure out what angle this stripe comes down at, at what point it actually comes right there, how it comes across underneath there for the white, and at what point on this seam here, how far it comes ahead going underneath. No, I don't have the bottom piece in there. This goes like that, so obviously I had to paint a little bit on the bottom there that's going to line up and fit in. Not quite like that, but you get the idea. So got that done. Masking tape was not being very friendly to me, and I got a little bit of overspray in a couple of little spots, but overall I'm actually quite happy with it. I am obviously going to have to touch up inside the landing gear bay there. That's perfectly fine. I've got white paint. So there we have it. Now this of course is the Revell anthracite color. So you can say it looks very dark, almost black, but it's not really quite black. And that's perfect. The only thing left really is to hit this with a clear gloss coat, and then that'll be done. But I'm probably going to wait till I'm just about ready to assemble it before I hit it with the clear. I don't want to have it fully assembled with the windows in before spray painting. Any spray painting I want to have done before I put the windows in, because I don't want to have to mask them off. And that's really the only reason. I don't want to have to mask the windows. They've given me a nice clean cutouts, and I'm going to utilize that till the end if possible without having to mask them off. So that's those pieces. That's the main fuselage. Then we got to, this is the rear wing that goes on the tail. Top side black with, it's a black actually wraps around just a little bit on the front edge. There's that. We've got the tail there, that's painted black and white to match the whole scheme on there. When that finally gets put on, what else? We've got the sides of the weapon pods. These guys here. these are going to go on there like that, so I had to mask it and make sure it lines up with the stripe that's going across there. And then of course you have the piece that goes in right there, and that would be this guy here, and that's going to go there, except it's not actually going to be on the thing, it's going to be stuck out a little bit because we're going to have the weapons, the machine guns sticking out on there. Okay, so I've got a paint inside there, that nice greeny color, as well as on this side here. What else? What else do we do? Oh, the fins of the tail wing. This is one side. That's going to go on this guy here. It's going to go like that if I don't drop it on the floor. So what I did with these is, from what I could tell looking at the pictures, you see the white there, and that's going to go like that on the wing. But the back side of it, from what I could tell, they didn't bother continuing the white on the other side. So when you look at this like that, or like this, it's just all black like that. From what I could tell in pictures, they didn't bother having the white wrap around. That's all right and fine. What else did I do? I painted the missile pods in gunmetal. I have not done any of the detailed painting on them yet, but I painted them all. That's just in the gunmetal gray. I did the same with the jet thruster exhausts. Just painted them black on the inside and then gunmetal on the outside. Speaking of exhausts, the main engine exhaust up top, as you can see, painted the inside. Now these were chrome, right? So I did paint the inside flat black like it is, and then got that kind of a coppery kind of tone. So that's going to go, I think this one's going to go on this side here. Yeah, so that's how it's going to look pretty much on the helicopter once I get it all installed. And yeah, so there's that. So after doing it, all I did was I just used a wash to get that copper look to it, and then once it was dry, because that enamel wash really likes to rub off easily on your fingers just by touching it, so after it was dried, I just hit it with a flat clear, so that's now sealed in there, and that looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I did assemble and paint the machine guns, both of them here. So I have them, let me move back in here. So these are assembled and they are ready to be installed. Let me show you on there. There they are. Yeah, and that's about where we are. Oh, the main instrument of the cockpit. I applied the decal to it. Put the decal on there. And that's it. And that's where we are. I wanted to get all the spray painting done out of the way, so I just did that. Obviously did it off camera because I just did a lot. There's a lot of masking, getting in around in here and everything like that, and getting that all trimmed up nice, and to get so it would be half decent and get that done while I was sitting here watching a movie. So yeah, got that done. So the next step, we've got the rotor blades, main engine assembled. They want me to put the actual rotor blades on, and I don't want to put them on yet because that's just going to be, it's not going to be hard to do that, to just put them on when the helicopter is pretty much done, and do that kind of as a final step, so it's not so bulky and I'm not fiddling around with these great big rotor blades on the model. So I'm just going to leave it like that. The next step is starting to work on the cockpit. So, like I said, I already have the dashboard here, and then we've got some other pieces. Now everything's already molded in gray, which is perfect. So I've got 2 sprues that are in gray here. And this consists of the entire cockpit. Let's move that over here. There's not really any painting to do, except maybe on the control stick. That's about it, really. I'm really hesitant as to whether to fill in and actually assemble the rear part of the cockpit on this thing, because you're never going to see it, and we'll never be able to appreciate the detail that they put in the rear part of the cockpit, because I'm never going to see it. And so that's why, like, we've got these panels here for the interior and the walls that go back here. I don't see a lot of point in actually, you know, they've given me decals to put on there and want me to paint certain things. I'm not really seeing any purpose to it, when the only time I'll ever see it is if I happen to drop the helicopter and it breaks in half. Just, I don't know. I've seen in other YouTube videos, you know, guys building this kit, and they assemble it all. I don't really see much point to it. Other than to, you know, I know it's got that detail there, but I mean, I will assemble it, but I don't see any purpose in painting it all. It's just kind of a waste of time. So this goes in there. That. So I'll get some glue ready here. Damn it. Okay, let's try this again. I do want glue on this side too, just in there, and that'll be good enough. So there's our main instrument cluster on the main dash. Let's put that down for a sec. They want me to assemble some seats. So we need, I'm actually going to change my glasses here. I didn't even realize I had WildStar ship stuck to my glasses case. WildStar from Star Blazers. I still have all those little ships that came with the Space Battleship Yamato, also known as the Argo, if you were a Star Blazers fan in North America. Okay, so we want number 105 and 109. Those go together. So this is 105. guess 109 is over here. It's not. Nope. 109. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cleaned up at all? Came off pretty clean. That little spot there. Oh, I was thinking about, you know, when I was watching Airwolf as a kid, I guess they had finished season 1, and there seemed, you know, as a kid, it's like, hey, there's no new episodes, what's going on? And a friend of mine, my best friend at the time, he somehow found out that you could write into the TV station and found their mailing address. And so both of us we wrote a couple of letters to the TV station telling them how much we loved the show and asked them if they would keep it renewed and keep the show going and not cancel the show. And we both mailed our letters in. Now, I don't know if they had already had planned on renewing the show for a second season. I think the show went like 4 seasons. But I had no idea if they were planning on renewing it or not. But of course, you know, they did. And they actually did write us back, which is amazing enough that the studio actually did and took the time to actually write us. Actually, they wrote me back, but they didn't reply to him. I got a reply and he didn't. So there's one seat done. You have the little extra thing sitting off there. It's like it's going to sit up like a suspension seat or something. So anyway, they did write back thanking me for my letter and blah blah blah, and thanked me for being a fan, and that they would be renewing it for another season. And it was like, that's so awesome. And yeah, we were both super happy that they renewed it and all that. Yeah, it's kind of a neat little experience. I think I was 12 years old or something like that. Maybe 13, I don't remember exactly how old I was. But yeah, that's kind of my experience with Airwolf as a kid. Okay, this is going to go on there. This is not the right seat. That's the one in the back. I was wondering how come it doesn't have the same notches. I grabbed the wrong seat. Silly. Okay, now that I got the right seat, so there like that, and then we glue it. Alright. Make sure it's not crooked. Alright. 2 seats done. Now, we've got some other stuff. We want to assemble the rear seat also. I guess I can do that. The rear seat seems to have a lot of parts to it. Number 99 and 100. Are the sides. This would be Dominic's seat. Mr. Santini. What's the actor's name again? Ernest Borgnine, I think, seems to come to mind. So a little notch to put that there, and then it's going to go like that. Now I'm just using my thin set on this for these pieces. There's really no reason why I've decided to just use the thin set on it, other than it just goes in the cracks nicely and it sets almost instant. I can let go of it and leave it just like that. Almost instantly. Okay, now we've got number 101 and 125. 125 is the headrest. I think it is. Looks like it is. That's still sticking out there. I need to clean that up. Don't look right. That boy ain't right, as Hank Hill would say. Okay. This just sits there like that. Not really much of a notch, or is it? Is it supposed to go like that? Yes, it is. It's supposed to go up top there. So, it just sits on top on this ledge. So I am going to use my thicker glue for this one. Supposed to be, there we go. Okay, it's got a headrest now. See, he's really got a fancy seat in the back there. Now number 101. 799, 100, 101. It's like a seat base / mounting peg, and I just lost it. Just lost it. It went bing, it bounced somewhere and I didn't see it where it bounced to. I haven't got a clue where it went. I didn't feel it hit the floor. I really have no idea. It may be on my desk somewhere, it may be on the floor somewhere. I haven't got a clue. I did not see where it went at all. I don't know. No, it is, at least for now, is gone. Is gone. So that was a pin that's going to go right there and mount to the floor, which would raise the seat up off the floor. Now I've got no way of doing that. So I'm going to have to improvise. And what I'm going to do, part of me wants to give up. Say, who cares? So I'll use a little extra nib off of sprue, and I'll kind of make my own little pedestal. At least the seat will sit off the floor. Like it's supposed to. Even if it's not perfect. So I'll just try and make this piece so that it kind of matches on this a little bit. And try and make it so it will sit flush like it's supposed to. I mean, it may not sit perfectly like it should, or was like they had originally designed, but it's something. It's better than, well, I mean, what's the choice? I either don't put the seat in, or put the seat on the floor. Well, if I've gone to this trouble of actually putting the seat together, I like to put it in. And I don't want it on the floor, so there we go. I got a makeshift pedestal now for the seat. It's not perfect by any means, but at least the seat can sit. The seat can sit. Okay, so there's that. Third seat done. Now, they do want me to paint the floor black. So I can do that. Let's put my glue away. Oh, it just disappeared. Stupid thing. You watch, I'll find it like 2 hours from now. I'll move something and I'll see it, and it'll be like, ah, why didn't I find you 2 hours ago? Okay, so they want the floor black. What am I going to do to do that? Am I going to paint it by hand, or am I going to spray paint it? Spray painting it would be easy enough. I just have to do some masking. If I do it by hand, I don't have to mask. I think I'll just do it by hand. Why not? I don't know why not. Why don't you tell me? Shut up. Okay. Brush. So, black floor. I think I'll actually do the pedals black too. Now, the question becomes, how much detail do I want? Because it would be very easy to just leave it. I could add in some extra details. Use a little bit of panel line accenter on things. Again, that comes down to how much detail do I really want to put on this thing for the cockpit. Does it really matter? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Because, like I said, a lot of this is not even going to be seen through the little windows. So, I don't know. On the one hand, it's Airwolf, and it's cool. And there is something to be said about doing the details yourself, and you know, knowing you did what you could to make it the best that you can. But then again, like I said, you know, with all the details going, or the fact that you can't see anything in the back, the fact I'm even painting this area right here is completely unnecessary, because you can't, when this thing is together, I'm not going to see any part of this back here. So there we go, we got a black floor. Just going to touch up some details on the side here that I have no idea whether to be able to see it or not, but I don't want the possibility of any gray showing through there, so. So I will paint the edge as well, and same with the pedals. It's possible the pedals will be seen from underneath, so I don't know. I don't know. Because there are those two little windows. Underneath, near the nose, so I don't know if the pedals will be visible through those windows or not. So I'm going to paint them just in case. So there we go. Pedals are painted on both the top and the bottom. And the sides. So there we go. There's that. That's painted. I do need to clean my brush off now. Actually, they want me to paint that little strip there. You're never even going to see it. I will paint it because they said so. I think actually what it is it's a little strip of switches. It's black. I should have painted it before I put it in here. There we go. Switch panel is now black. Now I'll clean my brush, I think. Oh no, you know what? I might as well paint the joysticks, for lack of a better term. While I've got my brush. Out. I mean, I could sit here and you know, I've got landing gear tires. I could just paint the tires. Could do that too, but I don't really want to sit here and bore you guys with a painting stream when I'm not doing techniques of any kind. It's just painting with a little brush. If I was painting some kind of special technique of some sort, that would be different. But, okay, so those are done. Before I actually go clean my brush, I'm going to flip the page and see what's next, because the only thing next now on there is just to put the seats on and everything. So let's just flip the page and see. Is there more that I need to paint? Black. That guy there is, for lack of a better term, looks like emergency brake. Number 113. Okay, so that's it for the black. So now I will go clean my brush. So I will be back in a minute. Okay. All right, clean my brush. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, brush is clean. Now, we need to install that piece. It's probably going to be first. 1, 2, 3. Change glasses here. Holy crap. Number 1, 2, 3. 12. 17. That's as high as that one goes. It's 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3 is kind of a weird looking piece. It's like it sits like that. It goes into a hole right there. Okay. Let's get this glue. Okay, there's that one. Now I can put on the control sticks. 107 and 108. 108 on the driver's side. Call it the driver's side, even though he's always flying this thing on the passenger side. Or from the passenger seat. This depends on what part of the world you're from. If you're in Japan, he's on the driver's side. And it looks like there's 2 holes there and there on each side. I'm not sure what's supposed to go there. There's nothing in this diagram that shows. You don't even see the holes, but these guys go in those holes. So just to try and make my life a little easier. Now I'm going to find out real quick here if putting this in first was smart or putting the seat in first is smart. Putting the seat in first is smart, so you're coming out. putting the seat in is going to pose a little bit of a challenge for that. Of course, really it was a challenge because I had it backwards. Now that I have it the right way around, I could have put the seat in afterwards, but that's fine. It's fine, it's fine. So we'll do the same on the other side. Put the seat in first. Okay, and now we'll get the other control stick. Throw some glue on you. There we go. Two seats and 2 flight sticks. Just like that. Now the main dash. It's going to sit up here. I don't see any. I guess this tab goes into that slot. I got a little bit of a thing to clean off there. Okay. Just like that. Now, of course, you can tell just by looking at that how much of that instrument cluster you can see. Now, you're not going to see a heck of a lot. The windshield is like right here on this thing, and it's going to come up, right? Like that's not going to give you a whole lot of visibility. I don't know exactly where this thing is going to sit in the cockpit, but it's going to be like this. I guess there is actually a tab that's going to lock into, so you can see how much of that cockpit actually sits behind a big black wall, and you're not going to see any of it. Even looking through the top, I'm only looking down through the top, through the front seats, right? There's your idea of how much visibility there is going to be of the cockpit. There's just nothing. And if I look through this, I have to look through at this angle to see the instruments and the gauges. Now, if I actually put the model of the guy, the pilot in there, I'll see it even less. So, like I said, detailing the back part of this is really kind of futile. Futile? Futile. Because you don't get to see any of it at all. So if for some reason there is some kind of an anchor or whatever to help position this, like there is in the front, like this has these two little tabs right there, that tab actually goes into that little hole, this little hole right there. So that lines it up at the front. What lines it up at the back, though, I don't know yet. This doesn't really have anything to hold it, right? It's just kind of loose. So, but I'm imagining as I build the walls, maybe the walls will anchor in. Maybe they've got some kind of things to, so it sits in one specific point, but I don't know yet. So we're gonna find out. So, oh, we gotta put the back seat in. Can't forget the back seat, that's so important. With our fake little stand to put it on. There we go. Just kind of sitting there in limbo. Let that sit for a minute while I take a look at the next page and see what we got coming up. Okay, we've got some instrumentation and that little bar that's got to go back here, the emergency brake, for lack of a better term. Funny, this is only on the one side. Oh, come on. See, I accidentally touched this stupid thing and now it's moving around everywhere. Okay, I'm going to use this in an attempt to get it to sit a little. I think maybe I'm really not meant to have a seat in the back at all. So let's try this again. I want you sitting there, and I don't want you crooked. I want you to sit straight. Thank you. Now just stay there and stay straight. Okay, I maybe have finally got it. It's kind of straight. Still looks crooked, but it's sitting there and it's there. Okay, that's the important thing, is it's there. Okay, now let's switch back. I want to check something here quickly. Okay. Let's see here. So we put a little arm in. We need the little box, number 97. Right there. Right there, right there. Okay. And then it looks like we've got a laptop. 111 and 112. I would have thought they'd want the keys on the laptop painted black. But they want it silver, and they want the buttons going around the screen silver, but they don't actually tell me to paint the screen black. That's kind of funny. At this point, I guess even they realize you're never going to see it. You know, even in the 80s, the buttons on a keyboard were black. Actually, a lot of times they were white, weren't they? Anyway, that's going to go back there in that little slot. But, first of all, we're going to put this little guy on. And you see, it would have been easier to put all this stuff on this center pillar here. Without the seat in the way. But they wanted the seat on first, so that's what we did. Okay, I guess that's... how is that going to sit? Trying to determine where the little notch that's supposed to fit into goes in relation to the side. But now that I've got glue on it, it's hard to hold. just goes on the side like that. That one's done. Now we have our little laptop to assemble. This is going to go like that. So I can glue this first. Angle that it's going to be at. So it's going to sit right there. That. So he's got a laptop now. And that's it for that. Now the next step would be to assemble the guys, but I don't do that. So we have the walls and the roof to assemble. Now, funny enough, the walls are the proper color that they should be. They're gray. It's quite obvious which ones to use here. There's one. It is a shame that there's no, you know, they went to all the trouble of detailing this, and you never see it. You're never going to see it ever. Like I said, unless the model somehow falls apart on you and the cockpit falls out of it. You're never going to see all the detail and the instrumentation on there. I'm going to shut the light off so see if you can get a good look at that. The detail that they put into that is really nice, right, on that panel. And then you have this one too, right? This one's nicely detailed also. All kinds of instrumentation. We've got decals to put in there if we want, right? The back wall, of course, has nothing. It's just a back wall. And even the roof. Funny enough, they mold the roof in white. For whatever reason, the roof is white. And on the top of the ceiling, we've got instrumentation there too. So now, depending on how far, see, that comes all the way out there. So they do mention painting all this stuff silver. They want 50% 1 and 50% 4. 1 is white. What was 4? What was number 4? What color is number 4? Yellow. They want it half white and half yellow? Why the fuck do they want that half white and half yellow? Everything else is gray. Why would they want that? That doesn't make sense. And half white. That's just going to make it a stained white. don't know. So what I'm going to do, you're not really going to see it, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use some brown accent color to go around the instrumentation, and that will be my half yellow. That should give it a bit of an aged look, or show some detail color there that you wouldn't necessarily see otherwise. Okay, I'm going to say that's good enough. I'm going to wipe away a little bit of excess. So there we go. So we got a little bit of detail around there. It's of course blurry as fuck, and that's all washed out. Sorry guys, I don't want to keep turning the lamp off. But for the actual buttons, I'm going to do black, a black wash. Get in there. Because I think the instrumentation panels, even back then, they're basically all black. I only want it on the actual panel. I think that's good enough. So what I'm going to do is let that dry for a minute or 5, and then I'll just wipe off the top of the buttons, and then the buttons will basically be white, while the panel itself is actually black. Well, maybe that's the opposite of the way it was. I don't know. It's the freaking roof. You know, it's going to be like this on top of it, and you're not going to see it. Maybe you might catch a tiny glimpse of it through the little windows underneath, but that's it. So let that sit for a minute while I determine my walls. This side goes this way, right? Yeah. Okay. It's going to go like this. Like so. I guess this actually has to go first. And it locks it in there. Does it actually lock it in? And if I clean off the tabs a little bit, where it was attached to the sprue, it might fit a little bit better. Let's make sure these are all nice and clean prior to assembly. Okay. Do the same treatment with this guy. See, this guy actually has a wall, and that sits right behind. Okay, so that's going to go like this. It's going to go like that. Fits like so. Get in your hole. Like, have Happy Gilmore. What's the matter, Paul? You too good for your home? There. So with those two like that, I think what I'm going to do is actually glue them now. Put some glue on this edge. Hold them for a sec. Let it set. Okay. Now let's go to this side. This side doesn't want to line up with the hole in the back wall. Come on. There we go. We're in. And since that's in, we can glue the back wall to the side walls. Now, if anybody can give me a reason why I should have detailed those walls, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Or type it in chat. I know there's more than one person in chat. There's more than just the bots watching. Why should I have detailed the inside panels of those walls when that's now enclosed, except for the roof, which is about to fully engulf it? Okay, so that's now dried a little bit, so I'm just going to take my knife and just kind of scratch over these buttons a little bit and make them white. Of course it doesn't want to. They're so small. Even looking at them like this, I have to tilt the thing to get the right angle on it to even see that the buttons are white. Never mind seeing them from outside. So that just simply lines up 3 holes and sits like that. And with that, we're done. Now, look at all the detail that's in the back. Look at all that detail. So nice and visible, and you barely even see the seat in the back there that I spent so much time trying to make sure it sits in there. That's that. If you're watching this on YouTube, write something down in the comments. I'd love to hear why I should have spent any time detailing those gauges and instrumentations on those walls in the back. I'd love to hear why. Other than because it's there. Step number 8. We're going to be detailing the front. Now, why? Oh, and we have our pedals. Looks like we've got pedal arms to put on. Part number 122. And they want them black. Thanks. 122, where are you? That's these guys. They're like some kind of pedal arms or something. And they go in between the pedals. Okay. So that's fine. And 2. This is another thing where, yeah, how much detail do I need to do? Probably not too much. That's a problem with interiors like this, or I say interiors with cockpits, where the cockpit's got tons of detail in it, and that's great. It's great that it's got that detail and the realism, because in real life it has that detail. You know, that's fantastic. Okay, good on them for adding that detail. But here's the problem. You spend all this time doing all this detail, decals, painting, weathering, all kinds of stuff, and then you put it inside the model and you never see it. And it leaves me wondering why. Figure out how I'm going to hold this in such a way that I can actually assemble this. Without freaking out on everything. So it's a pretty tight fit to get that to even just sit there. So I think the way it's sitting right now, I'm going to be thankful that it's sitting there on its own, and I'm just going to add some glue. This is quite a tight fit on these things to fit these pedals in there. Okay, so there we go. The pedals, the actual pedals are in. So I guess they weren't the actual pedals that I painted before. Don't know what those are. Adding a little extra glue just to make sure that they stay put. Okay, there we go. So those are in. Now, they want me to put this kind of a circle thing in there. Number 98. I don't know if it's on here or not. I guess that is it there. Number 98. Sudia. Four little really tiny detail things there. I don't know, I haven't come across what those are going to be yet. Oh, damn. There's our more pedal details. Okay, so these has two little tabs that are supposed to go in the slots, and the slot goes at the front. So basically, dump a bunch of glue down in there and hope for the best. It's a pretty tight fit. Extremely tight fit. Holy shit. Now, if they expect me to actually put the landing gear in there, that's going to be tough. I know there's a poly cap they want me to put in there inside this. That's one of those little white poly cap things that came in the bag with the screws. And that's these guys right here. 4 of them. That's so you can easily take the landing gear out and put the cover for it in. I am going to be displaying this thing with the landing gear retracted and not down. So I don't know if I can actually have the landing gear retracted on this thing yet. I have not tried it yet, and I haven't looked into going that far in the instructions to see what that's going to entail, because I know the landing gear retracts into here, but whether or not they've put the mold in, because basically the way the landing gear retracts is it sits like this, and the landing gear kind of just rotates up and kind of squishes, right? Kind of, it's got a bendy arm, like your fingers. So I don't know. They basically go, yeah, you can have it displayed and the landing gear's down, or you can go eat, and pull it out, and now you don't have the landing gear. Now it's retracted, right? So I don't know what the deal is here. If I'm going to have some cover, I can just go, and then it's done, or what? Because obviously they have the hole, right? But do they have a little square cover for that hole? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked far ahead enough. Let's take a look. While my glue is kind of sitting, let's take a look ahead. See, we can assemble the landing gear here. We haven't put it in yet. That's our guns, putting in the windows, engines, stuff, putting the two halves together. Yeah, see, we've got the little pod for the landing gear on the sides there. And then we have underneath, oh they do, number 70. Number 70. So let's find number 70. Since it's on my mind and I'm worried about it. I'm not worried about it, but I want to find number 70. Are you on here? No. So I think these are little pods for the rear landing gear. And obviously that's the tail rotor. I want number 70. It's just a little square piece. There it is, I think. Number 70. Alright. So obviously I'm going to have to paint number 70. Okay. That's it there. Let's clean it up. So as you can see, they've made it so it's got that little peg, so you can pull this thing out or put it back in. And that's kind of cool, but it is going to be permanently. Where's my? See, that's going to sit in here, and that's going to go like that. Doink. So I'm thinking I might as well just glue that thing in place and then paint it. Just glue that in there, since the landing gear I'm basically permanently leaving it permanently up. Just because I think Airwolf is pretty freaking cool with its landing gear up. Because it's basically, it's going to be on display. And then, what do I do with the landing gear? Put it in a drawer somewhere? So there it is. See, I gotta paint that little square guy. Why don't you frickin' focus, man? Focus there. Okay. So yeah, I might just glue that in like that and just leave it. So that's obviously gonna go like doink in that spot. I now know those two holes line up with that. These two holes back here line up with those. And that's how this guy sits. Like that. So we're getting there. Okay. Anyway, where were we? More pedals. At the bottom of these little guys are little holes, and they want me to put these four little guys on there and line them up. It's all number 102 and 103, right? Yes. Even though they're numbered different, they are the same. And they are tiny. Okay, so let's see. There's one. To get you on there, I have to go doink. It's like extra linkage. It's like they're linkage parts. Not Lincoln Park, linkage parts. So, Let's pick one. Put it on the way that I want to go. Glue on there. And in your home you go. Okay, there's one. Two. It's a little bit more intricate work than what I'm normally used to. But at the same time, just putting them on there and letting them sit, I'm only gluing them to one little point, so it's not that bad. And it just adds a little bit of linkage. You see, if you can't see, it's these little guys right there, just a little extra linkage for the pedals. And that's done. Now, aside from the poly cap, which I haven't put in there because I'm not going to bother. You know what? I'm going to put it in. You know what? I'm not going to put it in. Forget it. I'm gluing the thing. I'm gluing the landing gear cover. I don't have to worry about it. They want me to paint the landing gear. I missed this one. They want me to paint the inside of the landing gear pod black, which is very strange that they want it black. Like they want inside here all black. All there. They want that black. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Next page. We have our landing gear done, except they actually want me to glue it to the bottom. They want me to glue it down. So what I'm going to do first is get this thing lined up, and I'm going to paint that. I'm going to glue that in. There you go, the deed's done. Glued. It's glued. Now they want this glued to this. There we go. And I do have to come in with, I have the same anthracite in the brush paint. And I'm going to touch up along this edge here where you can see where I did the black, but on the edge of it you can see the white line because I had it assembled and taped, so that edge didn't get paint on it. So depending on, now the YouTube video I watched of that guy who got it done. Once he was finished, I could see there was a pretty big gap along one side of it that he didn't bother fixing, and so I want to have that painted in case I wind up with that same kind of gap between the panels. I mean, if I do wind up having a big gap, I'm going to fill it in with putty anyway, but yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, they want me to put a poly cap down in there, and don't glue it, and then there's a little panel they want me to glue on top of there, and I guess that's going to keep the poly cap in there. So, even though I chucked it back in here, I'm going to have to grab the poly cap. I think this is the panel I need, number 86. Yeah, okay, and I need a poly cap. Now what this actually is for the, so you can display it. The peg goes up through the floor, through that hole there. So poly cap goes in there. It's kind of small. Why'd they make that hole so big? That's weird. Anyway, and then I want number 86, which is this. They wanted it painted. I don't know why they want it painted when it's on the inside. What color do they want it painted? 69. Dude! Why 69? What is 69? Gray. So we molded him white, but they wanted this gray. Brilliant. Okay, so this guy, there we go. So this becomes our alignment pins for the back. So it's going to go like this. It's going to line up on those holes, and just like that. Why the fuck did they have the poly cap in there like that? And I'm sorry, this thing, I've already assembled the base on this. Okay. Okay, so there's the stand. Okay. There's the peg, and there's the poly cap. There's no frickin' way that's fitting. And do I have it backwards? No, because that's even bigger. Frickin' falling apart on me here. That fits there like that. Where'd my thing go? Give me my thing. I can't reach it. Okay, so there's the peg that goes through there, and that fits just fine. Although it's not tight, it's perfectly fine. And it does stick up just a hair, which means it's going to go into this just a hair, and that's an absolute perfect fit. So what the frick is with them asking for a poly cap in there? Unless I'm mistaken, because there's no way that poly cap fits on this at all. At all. No way. So, they haven't given it a number. They're calling it B. So let's go back to the beginning of the instructions. Or maybe the very end. Let's go to the very end. It shows all the sprues that this kit comes with. So what is B? B tree is clear. but we got, it's all just windows. So that ain't it. So they just call it polycap. Washers, nuts, pipes, we already have them. From a small poly bag. So it's not these, but if we go back and we look at this landing gear, they call it polycap. So what is that? What is B? Where does that come from? B. B, and it's, I'm not supposed to glue it. There's nothing in the, I don't know. What is B? So it's not a polycap, obviously. So there's got to be some part somewhere that's going to fit. That's going to look like that same shape as a polycap, but is not a polycap. It's not on either of these gray ones. The only thing left on these sprues are the pilots. Okay. There's nothing left on the chrome. I'm going to close my glue in case I accidentally bump it. I haven't taken anything off yet. I've already looked on the clear. This doesn't have anything. So, let's go back to what these have. This is landing gear stuff, but otherwise nothing. Not on there. We have a few things on here. Looks like antenna stuff. So that's a no. I found it. What tree was this one? It's got B, C, and D. This is part of the base. Well, how about that? So, that means that's all done. And that will fit over that. Okay. Now they don't want me gluing it in, so I won't glue it in. It just sits like that. But this does get glued down. So, a little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue on this side. Down. And there we have it. There's that. The next step is to move on to the landing gear. I've got some painting to do. The landing gear is not white. It is kind of a, it's not silver either. It's kind of an aluminum color. Every picture I have seen, the landing gear is, it's a light gray metallic color, and so I'm going to just assume, hey, it's aluminum. So that's what I need to paint it. Oh, my knee is bugging me from sitting like this for so long. The next step will be putting the weapons in the pods, but I still have painting to do, so I'm going to paint that green. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to call this done for now. That'll allow my cockpit time to dry and all that good stuff. And so yeah, so I'm going to leave that for today. Maybe I can get back to this after I've got some painting done on the landing gear and all that good stuff. I'm going to flip this over because I don't want to lose it. There we go. And so yeah, just going to leave it at that, and we're going to call it a day. I'm going to check something out here kind of quickly. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done, just like that. So, if you've got comments, if you want to tell me what to do, go ahead. I'm open to it. Leave a like, follow me, head on over to my Twitch channel, and check me out there. You can come in, you can talk, because you can see my chat is completely quiet and non-existent. Feel free, come on over to my Twitch, www.twitch.tv/duplicitous_29. I'll put links in the description below, and yeah, you'll get notified when I go live. If you follow me on Twitch, you'll get notifications when I come live, and you can talk to me. You can say, hey, stupid, that little bead piece that went in there, that's on that other sprue, and you stupid, you know. Why not, right? So yeah, otherwise, smash that like button on YouTube, follow me, that would be really appreciated, and I love it. Love to see you guys. Yeah, so I'll see about trying to get a little bit of this done, get the landing gear painted, and then maybe we'll continue the assembly tomorrow. Since in Canada here it is Thanksgiving tomorrow, so no work. That's perfect. And so I should have time to hang out with you guys for a couple hours tomorrow too. So until I see you again, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out. And until next time.